Okay, thank you. I'll call the Iredell Statesville Schools Board of Education call meeting for April 17th, 2020 to order at this time. Today, I would like to begin our meeting with a moment of silence, which board members, staff, and guests may privately reflect in their own way for the health and welfare of all our citizens during this trying time, especially for our frontline workers who are continuing to keep our country running. Please keep Tina Wilson, our Director of Nutrition, in your thoughts and prayers as she unexpectedly lost a family member this morning. Also pray for the business of this meeting and the thoughts of doing what is best for the world's most precious resource, our children. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Obviously, this is a different meeting setup than usual in response to these extraordinary times. We've made an effort to follow all the safety guidelines. I will ask our board members to please speak up into the mics, and I'd like to thank all our staff for setting up this semi-virtual meeting. You have an updated agenda at our seats. The updated agenda has been furnished to guests and press. There is a change on Wednesday. The state approved a waiver to roll over child nutrition bids. Tina Wilson had asked, in our case, the board has to approve this. She is asked to roll over the bid for the main food with our local distributor, U.S. Foods. That's on here. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, it was not on the original agenda, and this motion is out of order because this is a special board meeting and is for a totally different reason. And I think that by cluttering this, it takes away from the duty that we have today. And if this is such an emergency, we should have had it last month. So this
Mr.
is what it
Coutay, would you please tell us if this is out of order?
Well, my thought, Mr. Page, was that I didn't know it was going to be included this way. I thought you would ask for additions to the agenda since the notice had indicated that there could be other open or closed matters, and I think, given Mr. Howell's objection, that would be a better way to handle it, to ask if someone would make a motion to add this to the agenda. Okay. And note his objection.
Your objection is noted, but it was sent out to we could have other business. If I'd known this was going to take this much time, I'd have just not done it. But we do need to do this. But I'll entertain a motion to add this to the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I just want to ask you before I make that motion, is this something that Tina is telling us needs to be done in the short?
They're getting ready to work on the bids, and she needs to know, are we going to approve this so they don't work on the bids? But it's up to the board. I mean, it was approved Wednesday.
You're right. If it was just approved this week, then I can certainly understand. Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we add the what is this, the?
Emergency authorization.
Yeah, emergency authorization for the food bid, to our agenda.
Second.
Got a motion second to add emergency authorization to our to our agenda, and I'm gonna add in the number 2 position, is that, so we could go ahead and get rid of it?
Sounds reasonable.
Further discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. No. 6 to 1, thank you. Now, the rest of the agenda is consistent with the early agenda.
Mr. Page, I think you should then approve the agenda, have a motion to approve the
Yes, sir.
agenda as modified.
Yes, sir.
Mr.
Now,
Chair, I'd make a
I'll
motion
entertain
then- I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as modified.
Okay, I got a motion to approve the agenda as modified. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Folks, you've got this bid. We're just rolling over, the state's allowing them to roll over the bid for an extra year, just because of the situation we're in.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that we just go ahead and approve this.
Second.
I got a motion second to approve Nutrition rollover bid. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Carries unanimously. Thank you. Chair would entertain a motion to go into closed session for personnel issue, discuss qualifications regarding initial employment of potential employees, consult with the attorney regarding legal matters.
Mr. Chair, according to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11, I make a motion that the board enter into closed session to discuss qualifications regarding initial employment for potential employees and to preserve our attorney-client privilege.
Got a motion second to go in closed session. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Carries unanimously. We will now go to our closed session room. Thank you. Yes. Okay, at this time, the chair would entertain a motion to come into open session.
Mr. Chair, make a motion that we return to open session.
Got a motion, second, return to open session. Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Carries unanimously. Thank you. Today, we have the pleasure to introduce the new Iredell Statesville School Superintendent, who will begin serving on July 1 of 2020. I would like to compliment the Board of Education for all their hard work in this endeavor. Our board members have read hundreds of pages of information, spent untold hours reviewing resumes, listening to teachers and parents, reviewing survey results, and in many cases praying for guidance while making this monumental decision. Special thanks goes to Board Member Sam Kennington for his leadership in the hiring process. No one has any idea how much time and work Sam has put in to ensure an open and professional process. Thank you, Sam. The parent and staff survey results provided some of the top criteria the board used in superintendent search. Trust and respect were the two most important traits wanted by both groups. After much research, the board feels that everyone can trust and respect our superintendent that's been selected. The next three very important qualities identified by the survey include a desire for a leader who has ability and willingness to make tough decisions, who models high standards of integrity and ethics, and who holds him or herself and others accountable. Background research and interviews with numerous colleagues of the superintendent choice clearly identified these as areas of enormous strengths. Other qualities identified by parents and teachers included excellent listening skills, exhibiting honesty, following through with goals, being willing to set high standards, and understanding the importance of early childhood education. Again, the board's research on this candidate confirmed possesses all these qualities. The people of Iredell County also made it clear they want a hands-on superintendent who's in the classroom and in the lunchrooms and on the playgrounds, attends student activities. This candidate has a very good track record of this style of leadership. A major concern for our board was to find a leader who understands the successes that Iredell Statesville Schools already possesses. Our system has many strengths and great employees. This superintendent choice understands that. One of the unique qualities of the board's choice is his late start in the field of education. He worked many years in the world of business and manufacturing. His background demonstrates his ability to succeed in both academic and business arenas. Whether we like it or not, schools and school systems are becoming more and more business-oriented. And we now are competing more than ever for students and quality staff in this new landscape of educational choice. Our new superintendent grew up in Iredell County, graduated from West Iredell High School, went on to earn his BA degree and later a Master of Business Administration from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. He then achieved success for 18 years in the business world. After the company he worked for was bought out and downsized, he looked for a change. He found it by becoming an exceptional children's teacher, a demanding position. In 1996, he joined Statesville High School's Challenging Exceptional Children's Program, jumping into the education at the deep end of the pool. While teaching, he continued his education and earned a second master's degree in education from UNCC in 2002. In 2006, he obtained a third master's degree in school administration from Gardner-Webb University and his educational specialist degree from Appalachian State University in 2008. In 2013, he earned a doctorate in educational leadership and cultural foundations from University of North Carolina at Greensboro. In the midst of his educational attainments, he transferred to the newly opened Lake Norman High School in 2003, began teaching business technology and video production. He created a student-run school news television program and developed Iredell Statesville School's first Cisco Academy. While teaching a full load, he also served as an administrative intern, and he also spent 3 years as a summer school principal. His next career challenge was an assistant principal's position at South Iredale. While at South Iredale, he served as instructional leader and supervised student services and guidance. In 2007, he moved to Troutman Middle School as principal. During his tenure, the school saw excellent growth and earned School of Distinction honors. In 2013, he left an assistant superintendent's position in Montgomery County, and he oversaw their curriculum and instruction, federal programs and grants, and the North Carolina pre-K program. In his 5 years in that position, the district raised over $11 million in grants. The graduation rate increased 11.6%, and subgroup composite gaps were reduced every year. In 2018, he was named superintendent of Stanley County Schools. When he went there, the district was $800,000 in debt. After 2 years under his supervision, the system ended the year with $1.4 million in the bank. His leadership in Stanley County has also received over $12 million in grants. All right, I've talked enough about what our superintendent choice has done in the past. We're all excited to see what it's going to do in the future. It's my pleasure now to announce the next superintendent for Iredell Statesville Schools, Dr. Jeff James and his wife Tammy. Please welcome. Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract for Dr. Jeff James.
That's a good thing. I'm glad you.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
We've got a motion and a second. I guess we do need to do that. Thank you for catching that. I'm just excited to get this done. Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, no. Carries unanimously. I guess that was important. Thank you for that, Sam. And now officially, I can announce our selection of Dr. Jeff James with his wife, Tammy. Please welcome him back to Iredell County.
I'm certainly excited to be here with you this afternoon. Did prepare a little bit of a speech, so I'll start on that. It is with great humbleness and excitement I accept the challenge to be Iredell Statesville Schools' next superintendent. I appreciate the board's rigorous hiring process. I've gone through several in my lifetime, and I can honestly say this by far was one of the most in-depth. So thank you, Mr. Kennington, for looking after the taxpayers of Iredell County and our school system and the board. This is certainly warranted, of course, in this situation, as I can think of no more of a crucial role than being selected as the next leader of such a progressive school system as Iredell Statesville Schools. I began my first exposure with the school system over 53 years ago when the bus opened the doors and a warm hello greeted me and an introduction to who became my bus driver from first grade through eighth grade at Monticello School. Mrs. Cash greeted me and others each day with a beautiful smile and bid us a safe afternoon every day for 8 years. I vividly recall the fresh aroma of the non-wheat yeast rolls prepared by Mrs. Hilda Bentley and her cafeteria staff, and the made-from-scratch macaroni and cheese. And most of all, I remember my fifth grade teacher, Mrs. Allen. She expressed concern at my lack of engagement as a student in her fifth grade classroom. She knew that relationships mattered well before we coined the term social emotional learning. While I credit Miss Allen as my life changer, it surely began the day Mrs. Cash welcomed me on her bus and continued with the entire school staff that genuinely cared about me. I have never forgotten, nor will I, just how important public education has been to me and thousands just like me. In my career, I have learned there are a few higher callings than one helping our most precious assets, our students, and helping them find their way in this world. While I struggled with the phrase many years, it takes a village, I've come to the realization in my life that it truly does take a village. I look forward to continuing the great things Iredell Statesville Schools has accomplished in the county as a whole. I have seen Iredell County grow tremendously in my lifetime and is one of the few to do so in this state. I believe the school system is and will be an integral part of the future economic success of our county. I began my education career under Teddy Millsap's leadership and had the opportunity to work in many different capacities in the 11 years I was with the district. I want to thank my many mentors that have helped me along the way, too numerous to mention here. I followed two great superintendents, Dr. Terry Holliday and Brady Johnson. Both I consider my mentors. I hope to use the lessons learned from both to inspire, lead this system towards the 22nd century. I look forward to working with the staff, the board, the community to continue the trend of excellence Iredell Statesville Schools has become known to exhibit. Thank you, board. Thank you for your trust in me and the community. I look forward to a great tenure here and coming back home. It's been 7 years. So thank you very much for putting your confidence in me. And I promise you I'll always do what's best for students and this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff, we've got a press room set up across the hall. We'll be taking you over there. Charles?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Thank you. We're adjourned.